Good afternoon, everyone. Donald Trump and Republicans have plunged America into a reckless and costly war of choice that has been a disaster. House Democrats have opposed this war from the very beginning because we believe that taxpayer dollars should be used to make life more affordable for the American people, not get us involved in another reckless, endless, foreign adventure that actually has made our country weaker relative to Iran than the position that we were in before Donald Trump started this war. And Iran, unfortunately, is now stronger. And the American people have been forced to pay the price, including as a result of the higher gas prices and higher food prices that can be directly attributed to the Trump-Republican reckless war of choice in Iran. We're thankful that earlier today, led by Senate Democrats, the Senate passed our War Powers Resolution, demanding that Trump and Republicans end this reckless and costly war of choice in Iran once and for all. And the bottom line is that we shouldn't spend another dime of taxpayer dollars on Operation Epic Failure that has been a disaster for the national security and the economic interests of the American people. Questions?
In two swing seats, the 2nd District in Maine, the 22nd in California, the DCCC endorsed the Democratic candidate who did not advance the general. Is this making you reevaluate how the DCCC plays in contested primaries at all?
No, I have full faith and confidence in the DCCC. Susan DelBene has done a tremendous job, and we're going to take back control of the House of Representatives in November.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. The House has 2 appropriations bills up this week. I'm curious, what do you make of the appropriations process thus far and heading into the campaign season where we'll have a lot of recess, a lot of time out? Do you believe that, the House will make headway on avoiding another government shutdown?
Now, the appropriations process led by House Republicans has been a bridge to nowhere. It's a process that is riddled with extreme Republican ideas. They're trying to jam their right-wing ideology down the throats of the American people. And if they keep it up, we're going to have a problem when we get to September in advance of the end of the fiscal year. That's the reality of the situation. When will these people on the other side of the aisle actually learn the lesson that Democrats are not down with their my way or the highway approach to jamming their right-wing ideology down the throats of the American people? It's just not going to happen. It's gotten them nowhere, and it will continue to get them nowhere. Now, we're willing to sit down with them anytime, any place, with anyone on the other side of the aisle, including within the administration, to actually try to chart a bipartisan path forward to enter into a spending agreement that actually is designed to promote the health, the safety, and the economic well-being of the American people. But until we reach that point, Republicans are just wasting time bringing bills to the House floor that we will strongly oppose and that are dead on arrival in the United States Senate. Yes.
There's reports that Secretary Hegseth is coming to the House Republican Study Committee tomorrow, in part to ask for $80 billion more to pay for the Iran war. Presumably Democrats would not go along with that, but what is your assessment of the need for that, given it's so much more than was originally stated?
Donald Trump and Secretary Hegseth are responsible for Operation Epic Failure. Their reckless and costly war of choice has been a disaster for the American people. And the notion that they'll come up to Capitol Hill to try to get an additional $80 billion to continue to waste taxpayer money on an endless war in the Middle East that Donald Trump promised he wouldn't start but would stop is beyond reckless. When Pete Hegseth comes up to Capitol Hill tomorrow, what he should do is submit his letter of resignation.
Mr. Leader, have you made a decision on whether you're endorsing Debbie Wasserman-Schultz in Florida 20 now that all the candidates have qualified for the August primary?
Today we're focused on New York City, on New York State, on Utah, and on Maryland. And then we'll have a set of primaries the week after, and then we'll have some more primaries in July, including but not limited to an important one in Arizona. And then we'll have several primaries in early August, and then we'll have the primaries in February. So we're taking it one step at a time, but as I've made clear, Debbie Wasserman-Schultz is a strong, highly accomplished, hard-working leader within the House Democratic Caucus.
Question on Iran.
Yeah.
The Khan resolution process under the War Powers Act is contested. What's the next step? It's passed both chambers. Are you going to try to get this to court to find a way to enforce this?
Well, we'll have a conversation led by Congressman Greg Meeks, Congressman Jim Himes, and Congressman Adam Smith about next steps, but it's clear that House and Senate Democrats are on the side of the American people who reject this reckless and costly war of choice that has been a clear and total disaster for the American people. And, you know, it's part of the reality that the Trump presidency has been a complete failure. I mean, this guy promised that he was going to lower costs on day one. Costs haven't gone down, they've gone up. Donald Trump promised that he was going to love and cherish Medicaid. Instead, Republicans have enacted the largest cut to Medicaid in American history, ripping health care away from millions of Americans. Donald Trump and Republicans promised that immigration enforcement in this country was going to target violent felons who are here illegally. Instead, billions of taxpayer dollars are being spent on ICE, brutalizing and killing American citizens or violently targeting law-abiding immigrant families. Donald Trump and Republicans promised that they were in office not to start wars in the Middle East, but to stop them, turned around and got us into a reckless and costly war of choice in the Middle East. The guy has been a complete and total failure, so have Republicans, and the American people know it, which is why, at this point in time, Donald Trump is at record low approval ratings. He's at extinction level approval ratings for Republicans in the House and increasingly in the Senate. And as Democrats, listen, we've been clear. Our objective is to lower the high cost of living, to make sure that everyday Americans, when they work hard and play by the rules, can live an affordable life, a comfortable life, and a good life. We're going to fix our broken healthcare system. We're going to clean up corruption. We're going to get ICE under control. And we're going to end this reckless and costly war of choice one way or the other.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. Do you support the kids' online safety agreement that came out of the House Energy and Commerce Committee on a bipartisan basis yesterday?
Yeah, it's a meaningful step in the right direction, but I haven't had a conversation with Frank Pallone. We'll meet as ranking members with leadership tomorrow. I look forward to his presentation, but it is clear to me that at minimum, it's a meaningful step in the right direction, and I salute Frank Pallone on his leadership. Thanks.
I want to ask about the New York races, since you mentioned that. Are you worried at all about the influence of the Democratic Socialists in primaries there and across the country?
Well, there are 4 races in New York City, and I'm standing behind every single one of those races that involve an incumbent, of course, and that's Adriano Espaillat, Dan Goldman, Yvette Clarke, and Grace Meng. And then we're watching closely 2 open seat races that House Democratic leadership hasn't gotten involved in by custom, and that, of course, is in the 7th Congressional District, where Congresswoman Nydia Velázquez and a coalition of very progressive Democrats, including Tish James, the Attorney General, and the public advocate Jumaane Williams, along with the Working Families Party and many of the unions that we work closely with, are on one side of that race, with DSA on the other. We'll see what happens. that is the most gentrified district in the nation by far. We'll see what happens. And then, of course, we're watching closely what takes place in New York 17, which is a race to select the Democratic nominee to take down and defeat Mike Lawler in November.
America 250 is coming up, the 250th anniversary. There's two different organizations that have been organizing all of these events, America 250 and Freedom 250. Are you able to describe what your understanding is of the difference between those two?
Well, it's my understanding, I guess, that Freedom 250 is closely connected to Donald Trump and Vanilla Ice. And we see how that's worked out in terms of what's going to take place on the Washington Mall. That is such an embarrassment. Like this America 250 celebration, which I believe is the nonpartisan organization, should be the vehicle for celebrating America. Because it's not about any one individual who currently happens to be the President of the United States of America, who's doing a terrible job, and the American people know it. The America 250 celebration is about lifting up who we are as a people, what makes America the greatest nation in the history of the world. Our values like liberty and justice for all, free and fair elections, equal protection under the law. Not a perfect country, but a country that is always committed to marching toward a more perfect union. And we look forward to, as House Democrats, leaning into the America 250 celebrations, and we've encouraged members to do it. And then we look forward to taking back control of the House of Representatives in November to end this national nightmare in America and continue our country's great march toward a more perfect union.
Mr. Jeffries,
Thank you all.
you and Mr.
Thank you.
Mayor Bob Duggan opposite pages tonight.